What amp is that? Oh, yeah.
That model and everything. I was looking on YouTube and stuff, and so does Gary Holt uses the same.
Slayer.
We got great reviews all the way down.
Oh, good.
So, very happy about that.
Alex, how are you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. Yeah, look at this. BC Rich Gunslinger. Gerald, happy Friday to you. Upside Down, how are you doing? It's a little BC Rich Gunslinger. Hey Neil, how you doing?
What's up?
Carlos, how are you, man? Thanks for coming in earlier today. My buddy Neil's in house today.
I don't have a burger handy, thanks.
Okay, good. So here we are, the Friday after NAMM, and I did not go to NAMM. I had a pass to get in, and a good friend of mine says, "Dang, yeah, I'll give you a pass." And then I went online and I looked at airfare, and it was going to be maybe about $600, and you've got like a 3-hour layover in Dallas, and I was like, I'm not up for it. You know, the heat that I'm sitting in right out here in Arizona, man, it's brutal. And you just want to stay in your air conditioning. And it's really tough to get motivated and get out and do stuff. And so as far as NAMM goes, I'm just going to wait until winter time. And in January, I'm going to drive out to Anaheim. Yeah, winter NAMM is better anyway, so. It would have been fun to bump into Joe Bonamassa. I heard he was out there. Yeah, Sean even says it's brutally hot in Ottawa, Canada. Alex is in Kansas. So I got somebody in Ottawa and I got somebody over in Kansas, and Gerald is in Austin. No, he's in San Antonio. Upside Down is in Maine. We are all over the place, guys. We are at every corner. We're at the four corners. James says, happy Friday from inside your store. Hey, James. Thanks for that. So I was just watching the Guitar Hack video where he is at Gruen's guitar shop in Memphis. And you got an LOL, James, from Upside Down. Albert, how are you doing? Albert's probably at work. He works at an Italian restaurant, man. One of the best in town. So yeah, here it is, guys. What do you think about BC Rich? Now I asked, McKnight came in the store the other day, and I asked him if BC Rich was at NAMM, and he said no, they were not. But I think they're getting fired up. Oh, my girlfriend Sherry is on. Hi, Sherry. Lots of kisses. Yeah, BC Rich is getting ready, man. I think by Winter NAMM, they're going to be at, they'll be out in Anaheim, Winter NAMM. They're going to have a booth out there. That's just my guess. And they're going to have really cool guitars like this available. This is the Gunslinger. And, you know, it's just a made in China guitar. But, and I bought this thing used. Like I always do. Everything I buy is used. And I think, I could be way wrong, but I think this style of guitar is making a comeback. From what I've seen, a lot of people were in the Kramer booth at NAMM. A lot of people were checking out the EVH guitars. And this 80s style of guitar is sort of making a comeback, because I think that people have seen these relic guitars for 10 years now or something. And so the trends are going to flip every 20 or 30 years. And I think that the cool, bright color, you know, shredder guitars, and this type of guitar is going to start to make a comeback. Let me show you guys this thing. A friend of mine paints guitars, and this is just a little Ibanez RG. I think it was the RG 120, but I had this thing painted, and he put $100 bills on it. And I'm like, okay, I like it. And then these are those, the cheapest pickups you can get on Amazon. These babies are like 15 bucks for the set. And they're Invader copies. And yeah, it's got the Benjamins. And I kind of think for a very cheap guitar, I put some cool little white knobs on here, and I put a white tip on there. And I had to replace the three-way switch. But the bridge on this is just the very cheap, generic Ibanez bridge. And yeah, just sort of something fun to do with a cheap guitar. And sometimes, you know, what's the point of putting an extra $100 and then 20 bucks for the pickup? So I put another, and a new pack of strings. So I put another 140 bucks into this thing, or somewhere around that. And usually these are like $140 guitars in every used guitar shop around the world. But, you know, once in a while you have to give yourself a project. And that's what I love about $100 guitars is you can make projects out of these things. And you can get something that ends up sort of kind of cool. And these pickups, they really, honestly, they don't sound bad at all. Let's see if I can get the cord out of here. Now, I know you guys are probably not going to be able to hear this, but it's kind of cool. It plays pretty good. Now, it doesn't play as good as that Gunslinger I just had in my hands. And that's kind of how you can sort of rate a guitar. Is have a really nice guitar in your hand, play it for 5 minutes, then grab something else real quick and play that. And you can instantly tell, you know, which one that you like better. All right, so give me some questions, guys. Pour it on. What are you guys thinking? Happy Friday to you, Derek. Derek Bowling. Thanks a lot for being on, man. Anybody else give up their Gibsons to my shop recently? I have to say yes. All right, let me grab this and show you guys this. It's right here. And here's the case. So what do you guys think it is? Yeah, right. Somebody gave up a Gibson. They wanted to buy a Dean. No, that traded away. I traded away a Mesa Boogie dual rec amp for this thing, and it was sort of an equal value because the amp comes in at maybe, you know, $800 or something. So yeah, I got myself a Flying V. And the serial number tells me that it's a 1991. And it came with the case. And the guy that I got this from, he's in a Motley Crue tribute band. So this really didn't serve him any purpose in his Motley band. And he needed that sound that this Mesa Boogie dual rec was going to give him. And he's an old friend of mine, and old friends of mine, they come in and they hang out, and I've been in bands with him and everything. I went ahead and did it, and he did me a good deal, and I did him a good deal. And I have an easier time down here selling guitars than I do selling big old amplifiers. The days of big amplifiers is kind of over, and it's kind of a shame. But yeah, so I ended up with this thing. Robert Scott, how are you doing? Scott, Robert, see you later, James. So yeah, the guitar you painted, Robert, turned out awesome. Oh, you want to paint? Yeah, he needs you to paint the... So my buddy in the Motley Crue tribute band, now he's looking for a Strat with a Floyd, because that's what Mick Mars played. But Robert, if you're still on, this is how your guitar turned out. So as you guys know, Robert's my friend that paints guitars for me. And this is the Money Shot guitar right here. What do you think? Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Cheap Chinese pickups. I got some white pickup rings. I got a couple of little white knobs. And man, in this photo, you can hardly even see those knobs on there. But yeah, it's kind of a neat guitar. The problem is now where Robert paints guitars in his garage. It's too freaking hot to paint a guitar. It's probably 113 degrees out in his garage. Yeah, he does. Robert has painted 5 or 6 guitars now for me, something like that. And I've got 2 more for you if you're watching. Yeah, which I see you are. So yeah, I've got 2 more projects down here for you when you get a chance. There's no rush. But one thing I noticed about guys that paint guitars and they turn out this good is they're in high demand. And so sometimes you end up with too many guitars and you know, you got to slow down a little bit. Because when you're in your garage and you don't have a paint booth, for one thing, it's kind of dangerous because you don't want to keep breathing that stuff. Secondly, paint always works best right at about 72 degrees. And so, you know, you got to kind of take into consideration your what your temperature is. Oh, he says he primed my Jackson today. Nice. Hey, Anil, do me a favor. Bring me that that black Les Paul back there that Robert painted. That Zach Wild thing. Yeah, the Chipson. So here's another guitar that Robert painted, and this is a Chipson, guys. It's fake, but and it's in the process of being together. But look at that thing. Nothing was going on the back, just your mahogany body, set neck. But look what he did to this thing. Right? I know it's got some wow factor to it. I put a little switch in here yesterday or the day before, and I put a couple potentiometers in it, and I'm getting ready to, I don't own this guitar, but I'm getting ready to try to, you know, find some pickups. If you go crazy and you rush through a project, then, you know, it's going to cost you a lot of money, because a good set of pickups could walk in any day at any moment. And so why go on eBay and buy some junk and pay top dollar when something cool might walk in? And so, yeah, Black Label Society. And it turned out really good. And Jim that owns this guitar, he's super stoked about this thing, man. Yeah, he just had to do the top. So, yeah, kind of cool. Kenny says, knowing how to buff the guitar out is very critical. And that is true. Now, you know, it's got a lot of fingerprints and stuff on it right now. But, Robert, what do you use to buff your guitars out after they've been painted? Here, buddy. Thanks, man.
No problem. I like the neck on that.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. We can make a lefty out of it for you if you want. No. Yeah. Click that out of there. 15 guys. You guys are awesome. Robert says 3M compound products work wonders. He uses a 3-step system from 3M. Buffing is an art. Fabian is saying, Fabian, Harley Benton is good. Yeah, you know, here's the thing, man. Once you start to get a little YouTube channel going, some of these big channels, if they do reviews and demos and stuff, different companies start sending you products to review. And now that has not happened. I've never gotten anything for free. You know, my videos that I'm on, the cheapest pedal on Amazon, and I've had to buy that stuff. So I haven't gotten any freebie stuff. But what I have gotten is just like the Harley Benton video that I did last week. People will bring items into the store and they're like, hey, Dane, I've seen your channel. I have an item for you if you want to do a video on this. So that happens. It's starting to happen more and more, and that is super cool. You guys that live here in the Phoenix area are always, you know, bringing stuff in and say, hey, man, do a video on this. They're super cool, or do one on this guitar. And so that is really cool. And so I did not buy that Harley Benton guitar, and I did not buy that Firefly guitar, and I did not buy that. I did that, the Steel Panthers delay pedal. I did not buy that delay pedal. Guys, let me answer this phone for a second. I'm sorry. Hang on. Talk between yourselves. ZIMM'S Guitars. Yes, you are. My name is Dane. Uh-huh. Do me a favor and call me back at another time because I'm super busy right now. Nah, just whenever. All right. Thank you. Uh-huh. All right. Well, I had a call from the Better Business Bureau saying, come on, give us money. So like I was saying, people are starting to bring items into me, and they're starting to say, hey, go ahead and I'll let you borrow this if you want to do a video on it, and I'll come back later in the week. And so that has been happening a lot lately, and I'm really thankful for those people that are doing that and helping me do videos that way and giving me just topics to talk about. A couple of my new pedals that I've gotten recently. Let me show you something. So maybe not real exciting, but I just got a Vic Audio 73 Ram's head. And this is the, these are cool, huh?
Yep, I got one.
You got one. And so this is like a fuzz pedal. And what's your thoughts on the Vic Audio pedal? Okay. We've got Neil here owns one of these. So tell us real quick what you think about this guy.
There's a video that we did on this.
I remember
73 Ram's head. It's an op amp based, and it's nice. It's really nice.
How long has Vic Audio been in business?
Don't know.
Are they still in business? What do you think? Are they still making these?
I hit up Reverb and see if he's still selling them on Reverb. They're made in Gilbert, Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're made right here in town.
I'm going to put this back on the...
Okay. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, so I just got this, and like I said, 73 Ram's head, so it's sort of going to it's a fuzz pedal, and it's going to probably give you in 1973 what was the hot sound? Black Sabbath was hot, so it's a fuzz pedal that's going to give you those tones. So yeah, I just recently got that thing. Uh-huh.
Gilmore Fuzz.
Gilmore, David Gilmore Fuzz, of course.
Yeah.
So hey, let's catch up on some comments. I have an acoustic from Hardy Benton. Where did that go? Wow, it just jumped on me. Hardy Benton T70 Black Paisley. Those are nice guitars. And for the money, you can't beat them. Oh, here we go. I have an acoustic from Hardy Benton as well, and it sounds full, bright, and alive. That's what you want out of an acoustic. Sherry just retracted a message. Thank you for that, Sherry. Oh, yeah, it's the cops, Robert. The cops are always after me down here. Mud honey in a box. Okay, I also just recently got, I just got this thing in today too. And it's the Digitech Skira altered, what do they call this thing? The altered delay. So a brand new Digitech delay. And I have not plugged this thing in yet. But it has a switch here and it has all kinds of stuff. Wow. And so, yeah, it's got these two little stacked controls right here that do different things. And Digitech always makes great stuff. I don't think I've ever seen anything bad that Digitech has done. What about you, Neil? As far as their pedals?
Can't think of anything. I've got 3.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, this is another pedal that I just recently acquired. Hey, Mark, how are you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's going good. TC ElectroHarmonix does make great stuff. I got this thing right here from TC ElectroHarmonix, and this is the hypergravity compressor. And you know what? I was watching a JHS video yesterday, and he, it was the one about a dozen great pedals under $50. And he put the TC ElectroHarmonix Sky Reverb pedal on that list. But I did. I walked through that list. I maybe sort of disagree with his little, he's got the little Dane Electro vibrato pedal on his list. And yeah, I don't know. There you go. Here's some TC. Yeah.
Yeah, the cheaper TC ElectroHarmonix.
But they sound great.
Yeah,
they're durable. They're a good size. You're not going to break the knobs off if you accidentally step on them. And they sound really good. And this thing I have priced at $40. So yeah, they're great pedals. I can't, you know, the only criticism that I have is maybe if they were a little bit smaller and a little more stylish, right? But other than that, they're great pedals because, yeah.
Both compressors.
Stylish, sort of small.
Yeah.
Big and bulky and just, you know, it kind of looks like a tin can, right? But you're absolutely right. TC ElectroHarmonix. You can't go wrong. You buy anything TC ElectroHarmonix. I do also have a little Hall of Fame reverb pedal over there that I just recently got. And yeah, so a few things have been coming in lately. Yeah, a little Hall of Fame. And he also is a fan of ElectroHarmonix pedals. Yeah, I got a couple of those. I got a Big Muff Pie, and I got a Qtron. I think I maybe have showed some of these to you guys. Neil, thank you for helping.
Yeah.
I got this Qtron. I've had this a couple of weeks now. And
Blurst.
yeah.
That's great.
The Blurst. And ElectroHarmonix, Tyler Larson, Music is Win, made a video last week when he was out at NAMM, and he was in the ElectroHarmonix booth playing guitars, and he wouldn't let anybody play. They wouldn't let him play Stairway to Heaven, but that was a joke. Wow, yeah, now we're talking old school ElectroHarmonix, right? The Switchblade channel selector. How about that? You don't see these guys very often. So just some random stuff that's down here at the shop. And a small clone. This thing's got some miles on them, but these are very durable pedals. You know, nothing really ever breaks on this old ElectroHarmonix stuff. I remember as when I was a kid in the late 70s, maybe 1980, I had the little Big Muff pedal by ElectroHarmonix. And man, I had the coolest sound out of all the kids in my neighborhood, that's for sure. Mark saying, you want to let me and the band come in, do a live stream. We can play a few of our tunes. Mark, yeah, but it's going to be a lot of work, and I only have 18 people on. But if you want to, how about you can set and strum acoustics? Because my barbershop lady, I can't have drums in here, man. There's a barbershop right next door, and she will go nuts. But I would love to have you guys in here. And as you noticed, for probably the last 6 or 8 weeks, I start my live stream by myself, and usually somebody comes in and ends up sitting right here and joins in and talks with me. And it's been kind of cool where I have people that come in here and sit and chat with me almost every week. And so that's been a lot of fun. So my open sign is plugged in. It is lit up, and I am open, and I'm hoping that I get some customers. Because my girlfriend, she's expensive. Old school. Kurt Cobain used a small clone. I believe that's probably accurate. How about on Sunday? Well, call me up. Mark, give me a call. Maybe we can set that up. You guys can set. If you guys want to set and play, I'll do it. If you guys want to set with your acoustics and play and sing, and you know, my internet access isn't real good down here. One of these days, man, I'm going to get better internet and more better, right? I got to make this more better because it's very grainy. I know it's hard for you guys to watch. So I really appreciate you guys being on with me, because one of these days, though, I'm going to pay that extra money and get some better Wi-Fi and better internet service with more RAMs or gigabytes. That stuff is that they use to make it better. So, yeah, Mark, if you want to call me, I'm not sure I'm going to be in this Sunday, but if you want, we can do it. Because I love making content, and it'd be fun. If it's fun for you guys, it's going to be fun for me. Asking me, what was the original mini muff thing that you plugged into your guitar jack back in the early 80s? I think it was even the 70s. Okay, ElectroHarmonix made these little things that you actually plugged into the guitar. And it was a little fuzz effect. And I remember seeing those when I was a kid. But the
only ones I've ever heard of anything like that, it wasn't ElectroHarmonix. It was some other company. I forget the name of it.
Right.
But it's possible.
ElectroHarmonix had them, too.
But I know...
yeah, what were those little things called? Those things were cool. Robert, thanks for hanging out with us, man. Have a great day. David's like, come on, man, let him play.
The original one like this had it was really tiny, and it had enough room for a 9-volt battery, and you just plugged it into the amp.
It was some sort of a
and then you
boost or
plugged your
something.
guitar in, and it just hung off the front of the amp. It wasn't a pedal like this.
That's right.
I think that's what
Muff Fuzz? thought it was a Fuzz. I had a little Big Muff Fuzz because they had the Big Muff and then they had a smaller version. That's what I had when I was a kid. Yeah, it was a Fuzz pedal. Alex is asking me where the store's name came from. So my last name is Zimmerman, and people would call me Zim. People would call me Zip. Once in a while, I had an old guitar player that used to call me Zip. And some of my nicknames over the years. So, okay, my last name is Zimmerman. So when I decided to open the shop down here, I typed in on Google, I typed in ZIMM'S Guitars, and nothing in the world came up anywhere in the world is even close to ZIMM'S Guitars. All that I saw was like Invader Zim stuff came up. And so I'm like, okay, that's a great name for my shop because it's not going to be confused with anything else. And when you go to YouTube and you start typing in ZIMM'S Guitars, looking for my channel, it comes right up, right at the top. So I kind of got lucky. But yeah, my last name is Zimmerman. So that's where I decided to come up with the name for my shop. Kenny says, I had one. It was a first Fuzz. Is that what he says? Yeah, first Fuzz. Cool, cool, cool. Glenn, how are you doing? Dane, look up the guitar. Gavin, he's one of the top. Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I've looked at that guy. Guthrie Govan. Is that how you pronounce his name? Guthrie? Yeah, I've watched that guy a little bit. Yeah, so BC Rich, right? I guess maybe I'm stuck in the 80s because I like this kind of a guitar. But yeah, these things are cool. Yeah, Jerry. Jerry says that he had a friend that looked just like me. I'm that typical blonde-haired dude. You know what's kind of funny is a lot of you know, I make videos and a lot of my comments, people say, "Hey, Spicoli, how are you doing?" And so I guess I'm kind of come off like that stoner, kind of like Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I guess I come off like stoner dude from the 80s. Well, that's all right. David's asking, what is the most expensive guitar that I have in the store right now? And, well, it's probably this. I have a 57 Fender reissue that's maybe worth $1,400 or $1,500. I have a PRS CE. Neil, do me a favor, hand me that PRS over there.
Which one?
The CE with those Seymour Duncans in it. So this is, you know, I don't have tons of really high-end stuff because usually guys don't trade in high-end stuff. But I have a Paul Reed Smith CE, and this thing's got Seymour Duncans in it. And the CE, this is PRS's bolt-on neck version of a guitar. This guitar is made in Maryland. And again, it has a bolt-on neck, and it is in really good condition. But it's missing its original pickups. It's got Seymour Duncans in it, which is a JB59. They're really nice pickups. But this is probably the most expensive guitar that I have in my shop right now. And Again, the reason that I don't have too much high-end stuff, you know that GJ2 is kind of a high-end guitar. I got a brand new Chapman down here, but people don't trade in their high-end guitars as much as your average, you know, $300 guitar, all kinds of stuff like that. Now, I did a little inventory the other day, and I have about 250. It does look like a Santana. I've had I have just over 250 guitars down here right now. And so my inventory is at an all-time high. And I've had other shop owners, but it's been really slow down here. And I've had other store owners tell me, hey man, just try to get through the summer. Try to have enough money to buy gear, because every day people are going to keep wanting to sell you stuff. And then you got to kind of wait for shopping season when the weather cools off. And it's, here, Neil. You got to kind of wait for shopping season to roll around. In this town, shopping season is in the wintertime. Now, I know in a lot of other cities, shopping season is in the summertime because it's so damn cold. And when you got snow on the ground, you're not usually out buying guitars and stuff. But yeah. What else do I have hanging out here? Well, this is my good old reliable. And I don't know if you guys, I got on a Chapman kick. And so this is my ML3 Modern, and this is a Chapman. And I met Rob Chapman when he did a event here in Phoenix. And then I saw him when I was out at Winter NAMM 6 months ago. And he actually remembered my name, and I was blown away by that. But yeah, so because of that, I've kind of been on a Chapman kick. And they're awesome guitars, and they play great. And so if you're on a guitar kick where you're buying a certain brand of guitars, it helps a lot that they play great and they're great guitars. And I bought this thing on Reverb, and I think I have like $300 into it. And so, yeah, Chapman guitars, what do you guys think about them? And have any of you guys gotten on your Chapman kick yet? Glenn is saying that Paul Reed Smith is an ass. Yeah, well, that might be so. He really gave the Tone King a hard time on an interview one time. Remember that? So what I've got in my hands right here is a Gibson. And it is a SG. And it is left-handed. So, hey, how about this? You guys ever tried to play lefty? So, yeah. I try to treat left-handed stuff just the same as if it was right-handed. Because you know what? You get a lot of lefties that come in. And it is really sad for the lefties in the world that they have to have, you know, you walk into a guitar shop and there's only 2 left-handed guitars in the whole place. This is a Wolfgang standard lefty. Super cool guitar. But yeah, it's sad for the lefties when they go to guitar stores and pawn shops all around the world and they never have any inventory for them to look at. There's a Supro that's left-handed. And I think Sam Ash sells a lot of these Supros, don't they?
Yeah, that's where I got that one.
Uh-huh. So really gorgeous guitars. Super cool how the back of the neck is it's a gloss flat finish like that. That is super cool. And so, yeah, you don't want to discriminate against the left-handed people out there, because that sucks for them. Wouldn't that be horrible to be a lefty? Oh, I'm sorry. You're a lefty. I'm sorry. So, Sherry says, hi, Neil. What's up?
Hi, Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Jerry's asking me, what's your choice, a P90 or humbuckers? Well, you know what? That Harley Benton review that I did the other day had P90s in it. And you'll get 60 cycle hum from a P90. And so if that little hum, that little hiss bothers you, then it's always better to have a humbucker pickup. And humbuckers are bigger and fuller and everything. But both pickups have their place in the music world. And so it kind of depends on sort of what style of music that you're going for. But yeah, P90s, they definitely have their place in the world. No Name is looking for a San Dimas 1980s model. So those would be great. James says, try to jerk off lefty once. I'm not sure what that means, although I'm not going to even repeat that again. Thank you, James, for sharing that with us. He says it didn't go well. No Name likes the neck. I think he's talking about that we had up here a second ago. Maurice is asking me best sleeper, pedal, guitar, and amp. Best sleeper, pedal, guitar, and amp. Wow. That's a great question. I do play through my little Fender Cyber Deluxe that I have right here. And the one setting on it sounds amazing. And so I kind of like this amp, and nobody else in the world gives a rat ass about them. But so I'm going to call this my sleeper amp. And as far as pedals, you know that little timer delay pedal that you can get on Amazon for about 20 bucks? Those are great little delay pedals. Super cheap. These guys. I don't really have anything real negative to say about these little $20, $25 delay pedals. They're awesome. But they don't get a lot of hype, but they sound really good. And as far as best sleeper guitar, there's a couple. Hey, Neil, will you hand me that thing right there? I'll show you a guitar that I just recently got.
Washburn?
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm not sure what you guys think about this thing, but this is a Washburn Mercury. And the bridge is Wilkinson, and it's got a Wilkinson pickup in it. And I mean, these are kind of sleeper guitars. So yeah, kind of cool. And I have this thing priced at 125 bucks. So I'm going to call this thing a sleeper because it's a good quality guitar. Plays good. Got Grover tuners on it. Handcrafted since 1876. Washburn. They don't get a lot of hype, but they're pretty cool. Carlos says it's a Washburn MG 401. Rico, how are you doing, man? It's good to see you. What else is going on today, guys? What do you guys think? All right, Neil, I'll hand you that. Neil, you're doing a great job. Keep handing me stuff, man.
No problem. No problem.
Appreciate that. Because we need to have topics to write about and to talk about. And we need different guitars to play. And my buddy Neil's in here. Neil, hand me that Firefly right there. That big old poopy brown thing right in front of you.
This one?
No, up. Straight up. The Firefly. The big old, yeah, that thing. All right. So you guys might have seen that I did a video on a Firefly guitar. And I have another one. So these babies are making a big impact on Amazon. This company makes about, 600 guitars at a time. And then they'll put them on Amazon for like $140. And so then they're sold out, within 2 days. But I got this Firefly, and it's very lightweight. I can see inside that it has a block that runs all the way through here. And it's very much like a Epiphone Dot or maybe a Gibson 335. Yeah. And they're great little sounding guitars. So have any of you guys, do any of you guys shop Amazon, or do you stay at the used guitar shops? Let me tune this baby up and see if she's out of town. No Name is asking me how much do I charge to rewire your guitar, and I'm going to say it's probably about $40. Put a new 3-way switch in there. 3 pots and a 3-way switch. Yeah, that comes to $39.95. Yeah, somewhere in there. Okay, this thing was a little out of tune. Now, I made a YouTube video about this Firefly guitar. Not this one, but a Firefly. And the strings just didn't feel good to me. And I figured at that price, they probably used very cheap Chinese strings. But I was wrong. They put the Dario strings on these things. So everybody, if you watch my Firefly video, I was way wrong about the strings. They're good quality strings. It's just I wasn't, I was assuming that they were cheap and made in China. And so here's another Firefly right here. Kind of cool. Oh, Rico says that the Amazon pedal review videos that I'm doing are great. Thank you, Rico, for that. I'm only getting a couple hundred views on them. They're starting slow, but I think they're going to continue to get, a minimal amount of views for probably years to come. So that's sort of why I'm doing it. And I went on there last night and I ordered one more, and I got the cheapest. I I bought the cheapest fuzz pedal. So look for that in a week or so. Kenny says he got a deal on a 2007 Les Paul Standard with a headstock repair on reverb. You know, here's the thing, man. Headstock repairs on Gibsons, I know it hurts the value, but you can get them cheap that way. And it doesn't really bother me. If you're at a gig and you're in a band and you're playing your guitar, you don't even think about, oh, I had a headstock repair and I hate this guitar and this guitar sucks. You're up there playing a guitar. And nobody in the audience knows that you had a headstock repair. And so I like headstock repair guitars because you can get them cheap.
Hannah has 59 Les Paul that had the headstock.
There you go. Super cool. Yeah, so headstock repairs do not bother me one bit. What'd you end up paying for it, Kenny, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, so Kenny's also saying that the Chinese guitars have really crappy metal because they you know, they recycle.
They use pot metal.
So it's not so bad. At least they're recycling. They're not just digging iron ore out of the ground and, you know, they're recycling. Yeah, so there's tin and copper and zinc and all kinds of nickel. There's all kinds of old metal, and it's all put together. But in a way, I guess that's okay that they're recycling, right? And Kenny's saying that it was even a minor break. So, yeah, I have no problem with getting a Gibson that had a headstock repair. I kind of enjoy those kind of things when they come around. And I know a luthier that does a really good job repairing them. And so that you can almost never even see that there was a crack there. But one thing, when I do get one and I have it repaired, I always 100% tell my customer, this is a headstock repair. You don't try to fake your way through that and lie about it. So yeah, $1,400. That's pretty cool, man. For a cherry burst Les Paul plus top. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I just about cut my finger off on a knife.
Here's the Epiphone version of that you just said.
A minute ago, stopping the bleeding. Oh, thank God. Jordan, be careful, man. He said the crack was in the grain, so it kind of looks like the scarf joint. All right, looking at right here. Well, looks like a Les Paul.
Epiphone.
It is. It's an Epiphone Les Paul.
Cherry Sunburst?
Yeah, Cherry Sunburst. Kind of an older one.
Yeah.
And,
been knocked around.
yeah. It's got ping tuners on it. I think that Pingworks made a lot of the bridges, a lot of the stuff that they even put on Gibson guitars for a lot of years. There was Pingworks parts put on that. So it's not always, Gibson hasn't always used everything made in America. They've used imported parts on a lot of their American guitars. Maurice is saying that the Firefly guitars that are made in batches, the specs can vary from batch to batch. I kind of think that even the specs could even vary a little bit from your workers that are working on them. Because guys, you know, I know that CNC machines are cutting everything, but even some of the guys, the way they file frets and every little tiny thing about it, you know. That's why there's good guitars, and then there's some that are not so good, and it just sort of depends on how the workers are doing that day. I did see a PRS video, and it was talking about their Indonesia factory, and the Indonesian PRS factories, they've come a long way in trying to make sure that all the wood is you know, dried perfectly. And PRS SE guitars made in Indonesia are very good guitars, and they are getting better and better every year. And all the Asian markets are getting way better. Korean guitars, Indonesian guitars, even the Chinese guitars, everything, they're all getting way better, and they're learning, and they're doing great. Jimmy Page vibes. Neil, do me one more favor, my friend. Well, at least one more. Hand me that little Dan Electro over there. You bring up Jimmy Page. So I have an old guitar.
Yeah,
and Sean Zimmerman, how are you doing? Okay. This is Electro 1961 Dan Electro, and this is a U1. So you know that they have the U2, that is the 2 pickup version. This is a U1. It's in a copper finish, and this is from 1961. And look at the back of the neck, how that is worn. So this is a real player grade guitar, and it's all original. And the coolest thing about it is it's got the Silvertone tag on it. So Dane Electro built guitars back in the day, and they sold them at JCPenney's. They sold them at Sears. Montgomery Ward's. Yeah. Walgreens. No. They didn't sell them at Walmart because thankfully Walmart wasn't even around back then. But yeah, that's a 1961 U1. And now this is a modern, probably 5-year-old Korean
made.
And here's a Korean made, just a couple years old, Dan Electro. And this is the U2. So, and of course you got the single cut on the old 1961. You have a double cut there. There you go. Hand me this guy. Here's a brand new Korean made Dane Electro U1. And you can see that the pick guard's completely different. They've got a little slant to the pickup now. The bridges look the same. So after all these years, they kept the bridge exactly the same. So that's kind of unique. The back cavity cover, that's the old one in 1961. This is what they do on the new ones, and they have one screw holding it in right in the center. So that's kind of unique. This is the dolphin nose headstock, and this is their new designed headstock, which we all have seen a million times. What do they call this one?
Don't know. I know Eddie Van Halen had it on one of his guitars.
They had a name for this headstock design. You guys could probably help me out with that. What's the name of this headstock design on all these Dan Electros? Okay, so this guy.
Another Dan Electro.
Yeah. This guy is really nice and shiny. Dane Electro, they're not afraid to put nice, shiny, glittery, fun stuff to their guitars. Although this old 1961 was kind of a plain Jane. But the other thing about Dane Electro is they're lightweight because this isn't a wooden body. They make this out of that pressboard type of, almost like that pegboard kind of a material. All right, so this is a Dan Electro bass that came in here one day. Here, buddy, let me hand you this. And now you know all the Dan Electros have the paper binding. I don't know if it's paper, but it might have been in the old days. But they all have the binding that rolls all around the edges. And this one doesn't have that. But I can feel old remnants of adhesive down in here and stuff. So basically, the binding that was all the way around the whole thing has been stripped off of here. The only thing that's kind of weird is some of the Dan Electros, your input jack would be right here in the face of it. And then they still only have like 3 screws holding the whole thing together. So you're having your input jack right in the front. Luckily, this one's moved down to the side. It was always like, wow, it seems like there should be more screws around that thing.
Short scale.
And he keeps handing me all my Dan Electro stuff. This is a little Longhorn short scale. It's the Coke bottle. Maurice, thank you so much. This is called the Coke bottle headstock design. Learn something new every day, right, buddy? Coke bottle headstock design. It looks kind of like a Coke bottle. I see that now. Yeah, and I heard that the other day.
One of the EVH Stripe guitars had a Coke bottle headstock on it.
Cool. Yeah. I know. Jeremy's saying that I'm ahead of the curve on my inventory, and I really am right now. I am at full capacity. There isn't an extra hook to hang a guitar anywhere in my store, and I have stands just full of guitars, and I have a couple hiding in the back, and I have a few down here that are in cases, and so I am at full capacity, and I just cannot wait for October and November to come around, the 4th quarter of the year. I can't wait for that to roll around this year, because I got to sell some of this stuff. I am at full capacity. Okay, he's showing me more Dan Electro stuff. All right, so we got the Dan Electro Daddy-O, and this is an overdrive pedal. And some of these are 18 volt, but this is a 9 volt one, so it just takes one single battery. But the old Daddy-O, and I'm telling you, this is the metal. Yeah, the housing on this one is made of metal. And in a little used guitar shop, I have this priced at $30, and that's probably a few bucks overpriced. All right, now I was talking about the JHS video that he made the other day. And this, I believe, yeah, this was in his video of his top 20 pedals that are under $50. And I got this little guy priced at $19.99. And it's the Tuna Melt. So it's a little tremolo pedal. So the guy over at JHS Pedals, he loves this little pedal. And to me, the tremolo effect, it's not really my thing. It kind of makes me seasick just listening to it. But yeah, this is a super cool little pedal for the guy that loves tremolo. And then they also designed these Dan Electro pedals, and these are cheap plastic, but they still sell these things on Amazon, and they don't have too much interest. But the JHS guy, he seems to think that the circuits and everything that they use in these old Dan Electro pedals are really good stuff. I'm not totally convinced based on how they sound, but okay. Now this is the new line of Dan Electro stuff that came out, and this is the Billionaire, and this is another tremolo, and this is a used pedal, and I have this thing priced at $50. But yeah, man, you can get that Dan Electro stuff all over the place, and it's cheap. And because of that, they don't have that really great reputation, but there's still those people that say they sound really good and they're inexpensive. So in a way, it's kind of like back in the 80s, everybody had PV amplifiers and we all hated them, but they really did sound good, and they were always really reliable. And so yeah, Dan Electro stuff, it's reliable, it's all over the place, it's inexpensive, and yeah. All right, my friends, I've been on with you guys for over an hour now, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Hey guys, how are you? So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. Go over to the Philip McKnight channel. I think he might be on live streaming right now. And again, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys. See you, Rico. I do live streams down here.
I'm guessing.